Hello, my name is Amy McNabb, and I have the privilege of being your child's math teacher for this school year. I know that we're facing a lot of uncertainty, but I'm really looking forward to getting to know each and every student and working with them in order to help them become stronger math students and be successful. So, the purpose of this video is to let you know what your students' math class will look like this year, as I'm transitioning to a new style of teaching and learning called the flipped classroom. If you haven't heard of the flipped classroom before, in a traditional classroom like the ones that you and I probably both grew up in, students sit in rows or groups, they face the front, they listen to the teacher present the lesson for most of the class period. They get a set of practice problems to bring home and do individually, and then they pretty much come back the next day and repeat the same routine. I've discovered that that's not necessarily the best way to help our students learn for several reasons. So, I'm going to talk about three of them. Reason number one is that students learn at different paces. When I teach a lesson to the whole class, there would be many students who do just fine. There'd be some who understand it more quickly and want me to move on, so they get bored. And then there'd be some students who needed more time to process the information than we had in class. In that traditional setting, I'm not able to reach all of my students every day. Reason two is that students often end up bringing home practice problems for homework that they don't quite know how to do on their own yet. So that means they end up either finding someone to help them, or they just write down a bunch of numbers and make it look like they did it, or they copy your friends the next day. In any of those cases, the practice problems don't actually help the student learn the material, and it becomes a waste of time. It's not helpful to our students or respectful of their time and effort. Reason number three is that students tend to miss class throughout the year for a variety of reasons, whether it's for illness, sports, or family reasons. And especially this year, that's probably going to be an issue. When they miss a lesson in math, it causes a lot of problems because our lessons build on one another, and the student has to come in on their own time and figure out the lesson, or the teacher ends up having to re explain it, and it's not efficient for anyone's use of time. So, all three of these problems can be addressed using the flipped classroom method. In our flipped classroom, what was normally done in school is now done at home, meaning the students will get the lessons at home via video. Their lesson will follow a watch, summarize, question process, or WSQ WISC for short. They can watch the videos on their iPad, computer, or phone, making sure to pause, rewind, rewatch, or even skip forward as needed. They can learn the lesson fully at their own pace and are in charge of their own learning. During the video, they will summarize the big ideas to make sure they take time to process the information and write down any questions that they may have. Students are not expected to completely master the material just by watching a video, but they are expected to understand the basics and to bring questions and confusing topics to class to discuss and get clarified. Since they get the lesson at home, what do they do in class? Students will be able to participate in discussions about the math and get their questions answered by me. They will still do most of the normal practice problems that they would have done at home, but now they have support whenever they need it so they don't get as frustrated. Because of the extra time we have in class, students can work on understanding and thinking about math at a higher level and applying concepts to real world problems, analyzing work, and improving their thinking and reasoning skills. It's a much more exciting and engaging environment to be in rather than just passively sitting back and listening to me talk all class period. I'm ready for an exciting year of learning math in the flipped classroom. I think this is the best way I can give you student one on one attention every day, and they can grow not only as a math student, but to learn skills that they will use in the future as they pursue college and career. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about our flipped classroom. It will take your child a few weeks to adjust to the changes and expectations of our course, so please continue to encourage them to give their best effort and communicate with me on any concerns or questions that you or they have.